Hello, good evening. Happy to be here again. A few years ago, I did a presentation how to increase the revenue by mediation, so how to earn from ads. And today, the similar topic, how to increase the revenue but by user acquisition. Yes, because first we have to acquire user, then we can monetize those users. So this is a very wide topic, and I will narrow it only to the looking for the good, proper event, how to find such event that can boost our campaigns. Okay, this is the second. Forward, yeah. So the goal of that presentation will be to show you how we are doing the acquisition and what we did to help us to increase the acquisition. And in fact, also we start and explain why we are doing acquisition, because this is our biggest cost in the company. First, we pay for the users, and then we pay salary to the team. So acquisition is quite important for us. And at the end, I have some kind of results to show you, to compare some campaigns. What is the difference by choosing a different event? And we use different user acquisition channels, but in this presentation, I will just narrow to Google Ads and TCPA campaign, because this is our biggest spend. We mostly allocate a lot of budget here. So, yeah. Okay. First, I'd like to ask you if you are doing the acquisition in your company. If yes, just please raise your hand. Few of you, many. Personally? No, you don't have to do personally. It's okay, a lot of you. After the presentation, just give me a feedback if it was useful for you, if you just want to take something for yourself, and if this was something interesting. I will talk about our game chess, because when I started, we decided, okay, let's do this for many people, yeah, for the worldwide, yes, for others, not only for myself. So we started with acquisition from the very beginning. Now it is over 30 million of downloads. We are still ads driven game, so we mainly get the revenue from ads, and this is important by choosing the event. Yes, I will explain later. But what is most important in this project? Almost 80% of the whole our user base came from user acquisition. So that's why it is so important for us. And we are doing acquisition worldwide. Of course, we are earning mostly in the United States, but with respect to the downloads, India is the first country, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So emerging market that we were talking in the previous presentation. But of course, if we are going to the in-app purchases and revenue, is the United States. But if we look for this, 80% of paid installs, this is the lifetime. So for the whole our project from the very beginning. And if you just look what happened this year, current year, 2023, this is only 6% of the organic traffic. And if you look for the trend, this organic traffic goes down and down each year. Yeah, so probably the next year it will be 3% or something less. So 3% is almost zero. So we are even not calculating the revenue. It's not important anymore for us. So this is the game based on the acquisition. And why it is so? Why there is no organic traffic in the chess game, in the chess category, for instance? If you look to the board category, so for the whole top 200 games, at least 20, up to 30 games are chess. So this is a very competitive market. So all those companies fight for the same user and want to acquire them. So this is like red ocean, where everyone is just bidding higher and higher to acquire a proper user. So for us, user acquisition is the only chance to have any users, yeah? And I'd like you to tell how we started from the very beginning. What was the process of making the acquisition? Yeah, truly, I did the campaign for all of those events. I prepared them for the presentation, and I just have a headache. But we can divide those events to 3 groups. Yeah, so from the very beginning, I started with install, yes, because I had a new application. I wanted to just have some volume, some traffic, some people who play the game. But it was 2 types of events, install, and then we switched to first open. But after, when you have the game, you'd like to have players, not only people who open the game, but play further, yes? So go through the tutorial, then play, for instance, 10 times with the computer. And it was such category of events like for the gameplay. So people who engaged in the game, and but also during the process, the lifetime, also the game was changed. So we, for instance, introduced the game online, and we observed, okay, so people who play online brings us better results. So we started to do the campaign for a game online, people who are fighting with other. After all, you have to pay the bills, yeah? So gameplay is okay, retention is okay, people play the game, but we need also pay for the campaigns, and we focused mostly how to earn on those users, so how to be more profitable as much as possible. First, it was simple campaign for the quantity of number of ads, because our game is still ads driven. Yeah, mostly we have the revenue from ads. So we started with the campaigns. For instance, 10 times someone watched rewarded video or interstitial or something like that. Then it was introduced possibility to calculate the revenue from each single impression. So we started to calculate the revenue from whole ads, and we triggered the event, 5 cents, 10 cents, 30 cents, and we started to do the campaign for the revenue from ads. Yeah. But what was the goal, and what is the clue of that presentation? Perhaps you played merged 3 games. You can use booster there. Yeah. But if you join the boosters, if you join 2 boosters, you have a super effect of that. And the same was with user acquisition. So we observed, okay, don't choose either for gameplay nor or for monetization, but let's join those events. So we observed the users, what they are doing, what is the characteristic of them, and we join those characteristics. So we find a pattern, which users are good for us, and started to trigger, mark them as the audience, and trigger one event if some sequence, or maybe not sequence, but group of the characteristic happened. Yeah, and this is the mix of add value, of engagement, and monetization events. And we call such event, okay, such user, good user, and we now do the campaign for people who are truly profitable in the game. So in Google Ads, you have to find the event that has some short conversion window, for instance, up to 7 days. So what we did, we had those campaigns for install, for engagement. So we looked in the data, we analyzed all the events from previous year, and this was the part that Marcin will tell a little later. Just we wanted to find the pattern, what happened for those top 5% of users who are our audience, best users. What are they doing at the beginning of their journey in our app? Yeah, and we find, not me, but Marcin. Marcin find the pattern. What is the common characteristic of those users? And now we have events that are much better than our previous single events for monetization or gameplay. And of course, this 10 cents is just an example, because on the different market it's different ad revenue. For instance, for India it must be lower. For the United States it could be higher. And it wasn't one analysis. We started with one analysis, and we said, okay, this is correct. we are applying this, but we are applying the new campaign in such a way that, okay, first we do it for one market. If it is promising, if it is profitable, we are switching other campaigns for other markets for that event. And we did it few iterations during the last 2 years, for instance, because it was changing of the game, changing of the market, so the event also in the game was changed. And the same under one account for the one game, we have campaigns for different events with respect to the geo. So for instance, for the United States, that is most important market, everyone want to be there, there is a different event because there are different users, they can pay more and so on. Yeah, and now I'd like to show you the difference between pure cost per instance, so the volume campaign, which I did at the very beginning and analyzed the campaign for the event that was found by the analyzers. And this is the campaign for India, because we are mostly on that market. I started 2 campaigns at the same time, so I can just compare the data, yeah? So more or less the same time, the same two different campaigns. Yeah, and one is for the India, for the good user, and you can see this on the bottom one is for the install. And there is, in the sense, the price for the installation. So we have 2 cents per installation in pure campaign, and we are paying 5 cents, almost twice higher, for the TCPI campaign. But if we go to the ROAS, what is the return of ad spends after 1 week? This is the 40%. So we are paying more, but we have the better quality of users, and the return of ad spend is much higher. If we are doing the simple installation campaign, this return of is much longer. You have to wait half a year. And this is, frankly speaking, ROAS will tell you the truth. If you measure the ROAS, you can just see what is better for you. So for me, this user acquisition part is never ending. We have something that is, okay, working, and it is based on ad revenue, but we are still trying to find users who are payers, yes? And we are trying to do campaigns for payers, but directly, if we are doing the campaigns for in-app purchase, this event is too expensive. We can't. So we are looking for the proxy event who that is close to the in-app purchase, yeah? We had a few attempts, till now without any success. So those attempts are very expensive, yes? So we have to think twice before we start such campaign. But we have also 2,000 in-app purchase monthly. So this is not, maybe the correlation is difficult to find, yeah? Maybe we have to wait longer or improve the product, but the goal is to create the campaigns finally for the in-app purchase. And if I'd like to give you some takeaway, yeah, you can just look for the event for your top 5% of audience. So know your audience, who are doing something in your game that brings you the revenue, what are the actions, what they are doing during the first time, few days in the campaign, and it should be the mix of gameplay and monetization. And this is the plan, yeah? This is the simple plan, and trust me, the plan is more simple, it is the better. And it was also our plan for the last 2 years, it looked like that. Just find event, let's start, and let's go. Okay, let's the campaigns, let's start, and we will be rich, yes? And we close, and again, and so on. But I truly believe if you go this path and make few iteration, and after all, the sum of the small improvements, finally, at the end, there is a sun at the end. So I really like that picture. Yeah, so that's from my side. And now Marcin will tell more a little from how it was done from the technical side.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Łukasz. Oh, which one is? Okay. Welcome, everybody. My name is Marcin Kolenda. I'm co-founder of Alterdata. Today, I'm not going to bore you with what we do. Today, I'm going to go to some deeper details and facts about what was done for Łukasz. Okay, so first of all, we call this approach simply whale hunting. And I was told that our presentations are very sophisticated and there's a huge mass of text and everybody's reading that during my presentation. So we've changed that. I think we decreased the number of texts. So how was the process made? How did we did that approach that Łukasz was talking about? So first of all, a very simple thing. We need to have a data. By data, I mean simply events. So in this particular case, we needed to develop, I mean, Łukasz and his team, they needed to develop some dedicated events. We acquired them, and simply that was the data needed for the next steps. The next step was we needed to define what we are interested in. I mean, the areas that we are interested, the KPIs that we are interested. So basically, it was retention, it was in-app purchases, and it was rewarded ads. And when we somehow combine those needs, those KPIs, we can create something we called best user or good user or whatever. So we need to know what we believe, what areas are important in our particular title. So what was the third step? The third step was another definition. We needed to define two time frames. The first one is about the time that we collect those dedicated events, and we will in the future correlate them with the results. And the second time frame is simply the time that we are looking for those retention, in-app purchase, or rewarded videos, or whatever we are interested in. So that was the third. The fourth step, the most important one, at this step, and we build up the model, and this is simply a logistic regression, and we correlate those events, those dedicated events that were developed, with the results in this longer time frame. So we have the probability of this, for example, retention, in-app purchase, or whatever KPIs, with the events. The higher the event is, the better, simply. And finally, with the fifth step, what we do, we simply build a proxy event or artificial event, however we call it, and it is made from those good, let's say, events that we observe during the machine learning process. In general, they have simply a good correlation with those good KPIs. So finally, when we combined with some wages this good artificial event, we can use it in Google Ads. But we don't have to have just one good event. We can have several of them, and we can use them and we can try to use them on the same market or the same geo and so on. So this is a combination. And the fourth step is, let's say, the most important one in the terms of the technical, in the terms of statistic, to simply have the best artificial events that you can acquire users on. So what was Łukasz was saying that we have a few attempts to build up those events. We recorded 3. The first one was in December 2021, and the last one was this year. They were different by the different KPIs and different time frames and at different geos. First two, they were made worldwide. The last one was made only for the States. In general, they all acquired some in-app purchase, some rewarded ads, and in one case, retention as well. The last one, we believe, was the most successful one, and it contained only in-app purchase and or add value. So there was a difference. We decided not to have, let's say, both KPIs present. We decided that either we have good in-app purchase or we have add value at the level of 30 cents. The numbers, finally. So for the last iteration, the time horizon that we analyzed, it was 100 days. We've analyzed over 3 terabytes of data. We have found 56,000 users. It was just states. We discovered that, let's say, 3.5% these were good users, and for those we were able to find the events, the simple dedicated events during the first 7 days of life, and that enables us to build up a model and finally to combine these artificial events. Yep. Any questions? The final event is the one that you are doing acquisition in Google Ads. So basically, this approach is very elastic because you can play with these time frames. You can play with the behavioral events that you are developing at the very beginning. So it can squeeze much more from what you already have. I mean, Łukasz showed the example. I cannot show any more details because that's on Łukasz's part. The final event is something artificial. It's a combination of events that are already in the app. So it's a combination.
Okay. No,
I think I was okay. So once again, this final event is a combination of the event that you have already in the game.
Okay. If all of them, if few of them appeared, you just trigger one additional event, or even you don't have to send additional event from the game. You just pick the audience from Firebase. If a few things happened, just create the event from audience in Firebase.
Okay, so we have 3 questions. How many users do we need to have to think about such project? That's a difficult question. I mean, we've done it with Łukasz. The final iteration was on 50,000 active users with the time frame of 100 days. So we were successful in this case. I believe that we should not go below the 20,000 users, I believe. Yeah, something like that. Have you tried to run optimization with 2 events? Yes, generally, yes. I mean, the events that we use for this artificial final event is the process of the machine learning. So we can try with events that are behavioral. We can try with events that are financial, meaning rewarded videos on in-app purchase. It depends. I mean, we can try with anything. The only thing that we need to remember is that we need to have some of these events. I mean, at Łukasz's case, it was 3.5%. So we need to remember that there must be some population for that. Do you send the best events to Google Ads via SDK? This is the question to you.
Via SDK through the game, yes, we send the event from the game. No. what is the question, frankly speaking. What about TOS campaign comparing to best user? Okay, so under one account, we also do have a target ROAS campaign, but again, those target ROAS campaign are for the ad revenue event, for instance, ad impression. So those campaigns are more ad revenue optimized rather than in-app purchase directly. So we are not doing the campaign for target ROAS for in-app purchase. We were trying to do the target ROAS campaign for good user. This what was, but there is also the as Marcin said, requirement of the population. If you start to campaign for United States and you have 3% of users from that event, so at least you have to 300 users daily to achieve 10 events, yes? And this is very expensive. Sometimes you have to stop because you don't have this budget.
And additionally, this is the case of the elasticity, meaning that you can play with the number events. I mean, you can have many different events. If your gameplay is from many streams, you can have different, let's say, events from these different streams. And also you can play with the timeframes, which can be specific to your game, simply.
Yes, so the work is never done, and if you have something that is working, always you can improve it. So after a few months, for instance, next quarter, again, we will come back and we try to do something better. And better means pick one new event and then start the campaign for the same geo and just compare one to each other, which one is better. And if it is better, then try to another geos. And that's why how we kill old campaigns and start the new one.
Yeah, so from the statistical perspective and data perspective, it's simply about the retraining the model and finding a better correlation with new events because the game might change, simply.
Thank you.